Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria,
And I'm Rosetta.
and thank you once again for joining us. And in the spirit of love and kindness, we want you to come with us on this chat. We want you to have an open mind because we're going to talk about some things today. And we want you to think of it from a level of love, respect, and compassion.
Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back and joining us. And if you haven't already, we'd like you to always hit that thumb icon every time you finish watching our chats and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already and hit the bell notification so that you'll be the first to be notified when you can watch our chats.
Yes.
Okay, let's get going. And what tea are we drinking today? It's going to be called Organic India Tulsi Raspberry Peach.
Yes.
That's what it is, Tulsi. We love this brand, Organic India.
Yes.
And the ingredients here are organic Tulsi Holy Basil blend, holy basil, East Indian basil, organic hibiscus, and organic elderberry.
Yes.
So that's what it is. And says stress relieving and purifying.
Oh, who couldn't use a little bit of that?
And it's caffeine free for those of you that don't drink caffeine.
And it
So,
smells
really good,
really good
when you take it out of the packet, the little sachet.
Yes.
And we've had it steeping.
Yes.
Smells wonderful.
I'm gonna wake it up.
You can really smell the raspberry.
Yes.
Okay, cheers. Cheers, everyone. I like it. We've had this one before. If you are a regular and you watch us all the time, you'll know that we've had it before. And it's nice. It's just very, it's like a berry-ish.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like last week we had the chai tea and we actually got to speak to the creator, Perry. And we were telling her, I know you're supposed to put the cream and the sugar and all that. However, we liked it just au naturel. And she said that was perfectly fine. Everybody doesn't like to mask the masala chai tea. So you never know what's going to pop up. So don't forget, if you have teas, please send them our way. We'd love, love, love to check them out.
Yes, we would.
So as always, we begin our chats by sending our thoughts and prayers out to the universe. We used to send it to California, then we sent it to the United States, and then the world, now the whole universe, because we got so much going on right now. And we want to make sure that everyone can learn to just love one another. The situation in the world of chaos, it's never going to get calm until we all learn that we are the same. Our exteriors might be different, but on the inside, we're the same. And for people who are constantly trying to put situations down, they only want their people. Don't you think that would be very boring if everyone looked the same, talked the same, walked the same?
That's like not a world that I want to live in, that's for sure.
Thank you. I mean, I think that would be so boring. So we are for an all-inclusive world.
Yes,
that's what we want.
Yes, the more diversity, the better for me.
Yes, because it brings so much more to life, at least in our lives, it does. So our central focus is always on children. We are looking at things that we can do to help our children in this chaotic world. So today we're going to talk about challenges facing parents and how to best parent kids in this environment, some things that we learn. But before you're a kid, you are a reflection of love from parents. And the state of Arizona's Supreme Court, I think this is what I think is politics gone awry. They went back to 160-year-old law from 1864 to base that on their new abortion ban. Anyone helping like a doctor or the mother or a doula, midwife, whatever, they want to put them in jail. Now, the bad thing about this is that it doesn't even take into account rape and incest. It's times like this I wish men could get pregnant, because when someone violates you and leaves something behind that you're then supposed to bear and raise, that is horrible. And I always thought, if it happened to their child, maybe that's what it is. It's so far out there, it could never happen. We have seen all types of things recently. I'm speechless that law passed.
Yeah, I am as well. And the only thing they did say that, except if the procedure is necessary to save the life of the mother. So that was one thing that they.
But think about Texas. That's what they said. And that young woman, remember her and her husband?
That's right.
So it's not based on the mother.
Right.
It's based on what they think.
Right.
The baby was not viable. She was told that. We have young mothers who are getting septic and about to die, and they're still saying, no, it will just naturally pass.
Well, hopefully with this Arizona law that's passed, they will actually really follow through with what they say on the exception. But I do understand when you're saying in regards to rape and incest.
Yes.
Could you imagine? I don't know. There are people that make these laws that, you're right, have not really had it happen to them or someone in their family happen to them. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't really know what I'm kind of like speechless, because I really don't know what to say.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. But there's an attorney general. Her name is Chris Mays, and she's vowed to not prosecute any abortion case, and she reaffirmed the position. This was just this past Tuesday. And she said, this is quote, she said, "No woman or doctor will be prosecuted under the law as long as I'm Attorney General.
Right. Not
by me, nor by any county attorney serving in our state.
Right.
On my watch." So that's good.
Right.
But I'm wondering if that's going to, because I didn't quite understand this. She said, Attorney General, this is who she is.
Right.
But I don't understand, because that's the law in Arizona.
But what she's trying to do, because she's talking a lot. She's doing the morning shows. She wants that law to be overturned. She wants it to just go away. She's like, how can you do this? How can you sit there and say, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it? Because she's the person that is to uphold the law. And she's like, I'm not going to. Because she believes that they are going, in Arizona, they are going to put on the docket for the November election something to the effect that is wrong. So she's going to try and hang in here. Yet you and I both know, if someone goes against the grain,
right,
will they terminate her? Will they send her home? So for me, my question is, what's the target of this? What's the benefit of taking something that is a medical condition and putting it in the hands of politicians? What is the end result? So I have lots of friends. I have some of my girls, I call them my sisters, because we're just tight like that. And they are Latinos by birth. And a lot of Latinos believe in what I call it procreating.
Right.
The more babies, the better.
The better.
So in the Catholic Church before, it was just like damnation if you did anything to terminate a baby. Not so much anymore. So they will continue to have babies. And I'm like, okay, so people of color, they don't have lots of babies, but they have one or two kids. And then I'm like, so is the thought process that if they take away abortions, that white women will procreate and start making more babies? Because a lot of this is on the numbers. Who is the minority and who is the majority? And right now, people of color are outliving, pacing people, Caucasian people.
Because they're the ones that actually, and you're right, they actually have children at a much younger age as well.
Right.
So you notice that they love the kids. The kids
Yes.
are just everything to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just believe, and I've always said this, women would be better role models and elected officials than the men, because we don't have to thump our chests to make ourselves feel better. If women were more of the billionaires in the world, maybe the world wouldn't be in such bad shape as it is. Because what can you buy with $1 billion that you can't buy with $1 million? There's more than enough to share. So this to me is coming down to a control situation.
Exactly.
You know, so men want to control women. This law, this 1864 law, do you realize in 1864 there was no such thing as an abortion? Do you realize in 1864 women did not have the right to vote? This is so old.
I was just even thinking, who in their right mind would go way back to 1864 and think about looking that far back at any laws?
Yeah, someone who's trying to change the lay of the land today. They're trying to change what's going on. And then we have mothers. This is disgusting. If you are having a baby and your baby terminates for whatever reason, it has to come out. And for them to make it illegal, I mean, that young lady, her doctor told her, we have to, and the baby is not viable, we have to terminate the baby if you ever want to have another child. And they, in Texas, would not let her do that.
Yeah.
So now I think we're up to 17 states that have these abortion rules. And, you know, I completely agree that abortion should not be birth control. Absolutely. You know, if you are, mistakes happen. I can understand that. But if you are in a position that you've got the knowledge, you've got the tools, and you've got the services, this is between a woman and her doctor. Government needs to get from underneath our clothing. I believe that in my heart and soul. And I believe women, if the men don't, we should go after the blue pill. How would they like it if that blue pill just became illegal and they couldn't get it anymore? How would that make them feel? Because I'm trying to understand, how do we get them to feel our pain? Well, these women could die.
Yeah, we're trying to make them understand. I don't think we will ever. There's in our lifetime, it's not going to happen. Just like accept the fact that it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Because you have these men that think they know what's best for the women.
Yes.
And here we are, women. We're either dying or we're going to, or something terribly is going to happen to us if we can't have these for the right reason.
Yeah, these procedures.
Yes, these procedures. It's like back in the days when they had like women going in the back, there was no abortions out, so they would go to find in the alleyways get people use coat hangers and stuff.
Yes. You know, put them up on chairs and have them jump off.
Yeah.
Anything to terminate the pregnancies. We don't want to go back there. And also, Mr. Men, if you are going to prevent women from doing what they feel is best, then you better get busy on the foster care system, because your ass needs to take care of all these children. If you want them birthed, then you should become the daddy. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah, you're right, because
Think about that.
if they don't want the child because it's from incest or rape, they give it up, and the child goes into the foster system.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a vicious cycle.
Yeah. And like I mentioned in one of the previous chats, that they were saying that a lot of the homeless people on the streets are children. And I started looking around, and they're not as old as I thought.
Oh, I haven't even paid it. Well,
Yeah,
really, I didn't know, but even looking around, I still don't see that many children.
yeah. Well, not like we see more, which I think they're veterans, because I see more men. I
Right,
hardly
I
ever
do.
see women.
I do see women, but I
Yeah.
see more men. You're right.
Yeah.
There's more men than women.
Yeah. So it starts at the beginning. If you let women take care of their bodies, then maybe this situation will not get so out of control.
Right.
What do you think? Tell us what you think, because I really, really want to understand. This is horrible. Watching women go through this, they are pregnant because they want to be, and then something happens, and they can't be. Instead of them and their husband and their family making a decision, here comes the government in the middle of it.
Right. Right.
In addition to, we wanted to go back to the beginning with abortions and all of that. We also have this big situation called social media. Social media has turned up our children's lives. I sometimes I sit and I think, because one of the persons I was reading is called the APA, the American Psychological Association, and they had issued a health advisory for adolescents in 2023. And they said social media is not inherently beneficial or harmful to the young people. Adolescents live online both reflects the impact of their lives offline. So you have to build the foundation. You cannot just, like you're at the store and your child, and you just give them the phone. Just shut up. I got something to do. You don't say the shut up part outside. That's inside your head. That's the inside voice. But you give them the device to quiet them. Well, the thing about today is that evolves to their safe haven zone. That's where they go. And social media, you can go, and sometimes it's very positive. Oh, Rosetta, what a beautiful color you're wearing today. And then in 5 seconds, someone will say, oh, she looks putrid in green. That is horrible. And people feel comfortable on social media because you don't know who they really are.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a big topic that we're talking about today. And there was a study by researchers at the University of College in London, that this is what the study was. It tracked 3 years of social media used by 13,000 teenagers, and starting when they were 13 years old. And then the teens also self-reported about their social media experience and their mood and well-being. After compiling the data, the study concluded that social media affected on youths is driven by 3 primary factors. So there's 3 primary factors. Number 1, inadequate sleep. Teens stayed up too late to continue scrolling through their social media feeds. Exposure to cyberbullying is number 2. Mm-hmm. Having harmful, false, or private content about them posted on social media. And the third one is lack of physical activity. Scrolling social media on their phones or other devices meant that these teens sat for longer periods of time and had less time for exercise. As a result, they missed out on the beneficial impact of exercise on mental health. And it goes on to say that according to this study, which was published in the journal Lancet, 27% of the teens who frequently use social media reported high psychological stress. And for the teens that used social media less frequently, it was 17% reported high psychological stress. So there's a difference between 10%. Mm-hmm. So social media, big. And going back to Gloria, talking about like how teens are so affected by, you can have someone post something, right? And there'll be all these great comments. Mm-hmm. Like 90% of the comments will be fantastic.
Yes.
then all of a sudden they get one negative comment, and that will cancel out all the positive comments.
Positivity. Yep.
And whatever comment it is, they take it so seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like life or death to them.
Yeah, they don't have that shake it off gene.
Right.
When we were younger, if somebody said something, you would come back at them and it's like, well, you need to put some glasses on because you can't see.
Right.
We would chatter back and forth. And eventually somebody would say something and you'd go, what'd you say? You're crazy. And you'd start laughing. It never went beyond that. The thing with social media is once it's out there forever. And I think that is something more heavier that our children are having to deal with than back in the day.
Right. And also another thing is that social media is negatively affecting, and I think this is more to do with the girls than the boys.
Yes.
The social media effect on teen body image.
Yes.
So according to a survey by Common Sense Media, it says 35% of teenagers on social media worry about being tagging in unattractive photos. So they don't want to be tagged if they look unattractive.
Right.
27% are stressed out about how they look when they post pictures. 22% feel bad about themselves when nobody comments on or likes their photos. So have you noticed, to do with body image, there's all these apps nowadays that even like adults do this, not just teenagers.
Right.
Before they post, they want to go into this app and change how they look completely. Like they want to iron out some creases, or they want to make themselves look like a better version of themselves.
They're sleepy, but they want to look alert. They're all these things. They're on that, I call it the Kim Kardashian wheel. They've got on that little spinning wheel, and dear God, they need to get off.
I mean, I don't mind teenagers and adults wanting to look decent, like look decent, not like a bum down and out and like just a mess.
Right.
But for teenagers to be so absorbed in that is what is causing the mental issues and the mental breakdowns and depression, because they feel that they're not as attractive as people that have all these likes, like Gloria said, Kim Kardashians, any celebrity who has a large following, millions and millions of likes.
Yeah.
Like, even, we talked about this, even us, we love Oprah.
Yeah.
Even she has, what is that word? She's turned to medical weight loss, and she likes to show herself looking good and losing a bit of weight. I mean, people can come back and say, well, each to their own.
Right.
I do agree, each their own, but not to a point where younger kids are going to be influenced by the older generation.
Yes.
Because kids look to the parents, any kind of adult that mentors them.
Yes.
And they look to them for positivity. And if they see that as a role model, I've got to be slim to look good.
Right.
How do you think have you noticed that parents who always in front of their kids say, I'm fat, or I should lose weight, I've actually seen that happening. It affects the kids. And when the kids get older, you go back and ask them, they go, well, I got this from my mother.
Right.
She's the one that got me into this bulimia or anorexia, because I kept hearing her be conscious about her image and stuff. That's exactly the same with social media.
Yeah.
When are we going to say enough is enough? And I did do this research, and this is really great. I love this. There is a treatment for teen social media addiction, and they go to the root cause of it. And it says, the research shows teen social, because it's in this academy, it's called Newport Academy, and this is where they do this. It says here, as research shows, teen social media overuse is often linked to underlying issues such as depression, chronic stress, anxiety, or low self-esteem. Hence, treatment at Newport Academy includes addressing these root causes while unplugging from phones and social media. So it says, after just a few days, teens began to awaken to their in real life environment. During the treatment with us, this is what they say, they form strong friendships, explore their inner life through journaling and meditation, spend time in nature, and experience creative offline activities. Newport Clinical Team specializes in helping teens gain the skills and self-knowledge to heal from the maladaptive behaviors, underlying causes, and negative consequences associated with teens and social media. So I was reading this and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Because if you take away their cell phones, what are they to do?
Right.
There's nothing to do but look at other avenues.
Right.
Out in nature, do more journaling, meditating.
Right.
There's so much that, and this has to come from parents as well.
Right.
So, but this place, Newport Academy, people, if you're interested, look it up.
Yes.
And see what more that you might be able to even get some ideas and suggestions on how you can do this with your kids.
Exactly.
And you don't have to make it like a punishment. It doesn't have to be punishment.
No, make it fun, like going camping.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I love that.
So when I was looking at the APA, the American Physiological Association, they also said adolescent development is gradual and continuous, beginning with biological and neurological changes occurring before puberty is observable, approximately beginning at age 10 and lasting at least until dramatic changes in youth social environment, their peers, family, social context, etc., and neurological changes have completed, which is approximately at the age of 25.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Back in the day when you were 18, it was like, bye.
Yeah.
And now there are children that are still at home at 40.
Yeah.
So it's definitely driven by parents. The thing we're trying to get you to hear us say is if you have a tween in your house, try and get a basket, put a basket at a door and say, drop your phones. Try and get them to engage with you. Don't let everything be, I'm going to my room. Don't let them, you're sitting down to have dinner and they lay the phone down and then they pick up. No. Put that bad boy down. Spend some time together, because let me tell you something, and you can state it as a fact. If anything happens to the parents, that child is going to be devastated, because when they had time to spend with them, they were busy on their phones. So help your child, prepare your child for the next level by saying, put down the phone.
Yes, and talking about having a basket, I saw in the news last month, and I now forget because I'm recalling, there's a school that they have decided, because there's too many kids using their cell phones during class time, that they're going to have a little box and there's slots in them, and as soon as a child comes into class, they're going to be asked to put their cell phone in that box.
There you go.
And the kids are not liking it. And I was thinking, wow, my son's school did that when he was in high school. My son is second year college now.
Yes.
And what they did was they had little pockets
where
they could put their, and that was the rule. And it's been the rule for a long time that in class, they're to come in and everybody knows by default that they have to drop their cell phones in this pocket that's hanging on the wall.
That's awesome.
And I think that's amazing. And because the kids are so addicted to it, in that, I forget what school district it is in California, one child went as far as starting a petition against this, and she already had X amount of names sign the petition.
Right.
So I'm like, please, as parents, we have to go back to, we keep saying parents because we are the mentor, we are the guide, we are the people that our kids look up to. Whether we do something or don't do something, our kids are going to follow us.
Yes.
So we need to explain to them that when you're at school, it's time to study and learn.
And to focus on your education.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea. And all schools should do that.
I agree. I think it would be much better, because our children, unfortunately, right now are being guided by peer pressure a lot. Whereas in my day, it was about individuality. I mean, even the cliquey kids, you had the nerds, you had the jocks, you had the mean girls, you had the ones that were just like, we used to call them flower children because they would just, everything was love. Everything was happiness. Oh, Gloria, have a beautiful day. And I was like, you too. And I was like, okay. They're drinking some kind of Kool-Aid over there. But it was okay. Everybody was allowed to do their own thing, and then we could come together and collaborate.
Yes. And did you notice that when we were in high school, what did we do for outdoor activity? We went outside.
Yeah.
We met in the malls, the shopping malls, and
Yes.
we went out and we hung out with our friends and we were
Yes.
outside, or we would go after school. Do you
Yes.
remember going after school to the mall, or
Yes.
I would go to Woolworths.
Yes.
Remember Woolworths?
Yes.
And we would sit and they would
Yeah,
have
they
the
have the
counter
best-
of food.
Yes, they had really great burgers, and their shakes were delicious. Because we walked to school, we would take the bus from school to Woolworths and sit at the counter and have something.
Or I would go to Little Caesar's Pizza and get the crazy bread.
Oh,
That's
I love
what we
it.
would do.
But see, we would be out and about.
be
It wasn't about
outdoors.
the phone. I mean,
We didn't know. Like, get this. If we told our friends we're going to meet them at 4 p.m., if we're late,
right.
oh, well, there's no way to contact the person.
That's right.
You're just late. So the
That's
person
right.
would just wait for you.
Yeah, and then you'd show up and you'd be like, I'm so sorry, I'm late. But it wasn't like, where are you? Where are you? I'm here. Where are you? I mean, it's just unnecessary stress.
And breaking up, that's another thing.
Oh,
Breaking up over a text
yes.
instead of calling someone
Yes.
or speaking to someone.
Yes.
I love social media. Don't get us wrong. We love social media. It has brought a lot of positive things.
In its place, it is very, very wonderful. It has taken, like in the past, if something happened in another country, we might not hear about it for months. It's usually
or on
fixed.
the news.
Yes, on the news. And if it wasn't sensational enough for the news, we wouldn't even hear about it. Now, oh my God, the poor sweet princess, Duchess Kate, she gets sick. I mean, it's all over the newspaper, all over social media. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, dear God.
And you probably wouldn't hear something about something in another country.
No.
I mean, I really like social media because it brings attention to things that I would never have known about. Like, I'm like, oh my
Exactly.
God, where are they doing this?
Exactly.
Or there'd be some videos you would see that someone posts. I'm like, this
Yes.
is happening in this country?
Wow. And you'd be
So
like, oh my God.
there are some positives, and I like to, like, for my son who's 20, I like to highlight, like, show him some things that are funny and
Right.
positive.
Right.
Not all about
Oh,
how
the
many
sadness
likes
and-
the sadness is, and how, especially for girls, they are so swayed
Yeah.
by the celebrities and how to look good, and they only feel good if they look like the celebrities.
Yes.
So we could go on and on about this, and we'll keep talking about this because
Yes.
we're always trying to come up with ways that we can help our kids.
Yes.
And what I think we should do is, as parents, we can, exactly what Gloria said, put it down. I know they're going to moan and groan.
Yeah, but they'll get over
But
it.
they'll get over it and
Yeah.
do some activities together. Go outside or
Yeah.
do some board games. Remember
Yes.
the days when people did
Yes.
family night board games?
Yes. Make
I
it
mean,
fun. Because
yeah.
if you make it fun, then, even if you take it away and they grumble a little bit, and you'll be like, "Row, row, 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 row." If that make you feel better, row, 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 row. And they can't help it. They will laugh.
Yes. Or go for a hike.
Yes.
It's amazing. Go for a hike and leave the cell phones locked up in the car.
Yes. So please comment. Let us know what you
And let
think.
us know what you do with your
Yes.
children if you have children.
Yes.
Like, we've had some great positive responses from things that you do with your children to help them reduce their number of hours on cell phone or social media.
Yes. That would be awesome, because then we can share it with other moms and fathers who are, looking on board.
Yep, love that.
Cool. So you had to be under a rock not to know about the women's NCAA final game on Sunday. Caitlin Clark was with Iowa, and they were going against South Carolina. And South Carolina, they're called the Gamecocks. I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah.
I don't either. Iowa is the Hawkeyes. So the game starts, and Caitlin and the team just start banging them. It was like 10-0. And I love Caitlin. I really do. I think she is an amazing young lady. But I wanted South Carolina to win. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, getting ready to bite my nails. And I'm like, oh my God, this game is so stressful. So the South Carolina girls settled down. They started coming back. They came back within a couple of points. It was an amazing game. Normally, the women, I would say maybe a couple of million people watched the game. It was 18.7 million people watched that game on Sunday. It was amazing. So the game is very close. It's going back and forth. And then all of a sudden, South Carolina hit the groove. So the final score was 87-75. The thing that was most beautiful is, so it was in Iowa, so it was in Caitlin's, community. They gave her lots of love. When she left, she gave them the heart sign because she loves them. The coach for South Carolina, her name is Dawn Daly. That woman was overwhelmed when they got the last ball and the players just bouncing the ball. And so they're trying to talk to her, and she is so emotional. She's just wiping the tears, and she bends over, and the girls pick her up, and they're like, no, we want you to feel all
the glory.
All the glory.
Yeah.
She was just, and in her thank you speech, of course she thanked her girls, but she thanked God, and she said, thank you for favor. And if you don't know, in the South, that's what they call blessings. When something happens and there's no way it should happen, you're like, thank God for favoring me. So she did that. She also shouted out Caitlin Clark, and she said to her, you are the ambassador for this sports. You are one of the GOATs. Now, this is the opposing coach talking about the team that they just beat. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I don't know where you are, but I hope you hear my words. You are an amazing young woman. It was great. So the girls on South Carolina team was Camila Gardoso. That's a bad mama jamma. She's 6'8". 6 foot. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
She was amazing. Tahina Papau, Ashley Watkins, Tessa Johnson, Malaysia Fulwelly, Adahel Tack, Chloe Kitt, and Sana Fegan. They were just poetry in motion. Now, some of them are seniors, so that was like their last game. But the coach, because this was her third win, not consecutive, but third win. So it was a great game. I was screaming. My husband was screaming. We're just it's just so proud to see. And this is not to take anything away from the men's Final Four and the men's Final Two, UConn and Purdue. However, the girls had more viewers.
They need to.
Yes.
I don't know why the girls' basketball always on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very glad that this season they're coming up and they're doing really well. And I like the fact that there's more viewers. We need way more viewers.
Yes, women's sports are doing some amazing things, and it should stand on its own. I'm not sure the specifics, but the women's soccer team won.
Yes.
The United States. Our girls are showing up and showing out. And instead of trying to take away our rights, love them, support them, lift them up. So that was just amazing. And then this morning we heard that Tara Van Derver has led the Stanford women basketball team for 38 seasons. And she announced that she's going to retire. She is the winningest coach in women basketball history. And she's done all of this at the young age of 70. She's been with Stanford since 85.
Wow.
But just think about that. One woman, one coach. And those are going to be some big shoes
That's
for
dedication
someone.
for you.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. It's amazing. Yeah, that is. Who is going to fill those shoes? Wow.
It's going to be crazy.
Someone young, so that
Yeah.
if they
They
have
can
that
evolve.
dedication, they can actually become how she
Yes.
has become.
Yes, and on a side note, good luck, Warriors, because they're getting down to
Yes,
the
yes.
end, and if they lose, they're out.
Yeah.
So good luck, and I understand that everybody says, well, if Curry has a good night, it shouldn't all depend upon him. That's just
Well, it
unnecessary
shouldn't,
stress.
but a lot of times
But
it does.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
So Curry, Clay, Draymond, be nice, Draymond. Everybody go get it.
Yep.
So we're always talking to you about the weather. Did you see the eclipse? Were you somewhere where you could visually see it in person? Or were you like me? I watched it live.
I did not see it. Sorry, missed it.
The first location that gave a total eclipse was Mazatlan, Mexico. It was amazing to watch because it was bright like this, and all of a sudden it just got dark, and then you could see the ring. There were families that came from different parts of the world to be together for that special occasion. It was pretty awesome, and I hope you got to see it. We were able to see the one in 2017.
Oh, I got to see that one. I was outside watching that.
Yes, and the next one is in 20 years. So hopefully we'll all still be alive.
20 years. I'll still be alive.
Yeah, but hopefully not, doing all this social media stuff. We'll be laying on the beach watching the eclipse too. Oh my goodness. So if you did get to see it and you took pictures, we'd love for you to post them so we can check them out. That would be really nice. So as always, this is the opportunity for us to kind of share a little bit about who we are. So my name, once again, is Gloria Webb Williams. I am the owner of Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural, all natural mineral makeup manufacturer right here in Santa Clara, California. And I'm always looking for things to share with you, to keep and make people more conscious. So, how we're both always talking about hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. So right now, there's something afoot in the world. So water, because that's what we're mostly composed of, is very important to our bodies. It's not just putting something in it and like I have an aunt that fell out once because she don't like the taste of water, so she never drank water. And she got dehydrated and she was working and then she was on the floor. And they told her, you have to drink water, and she's like, oh, I can't do that. So water is very, very important. So do you know the caliber of the water that you drink? Because it's not just what's on the outside, it's what you put on the inside. So right now, there are these things called PFAs. It is a class of thousands of synthetic chemicals used to make products resistant to water, heat, and stains. PFAs are often referred to as forever chemicals. They do not easily break down in the environment, and they're difficult to destroy. Exposure to high levels of PFAs in contaminated drinking water may result in the following health effects: increased cholesterol, changes in liver enzyme, hormone disruption, increased risk of thyroid disease. Now, who would think that water could make you that sick? And they're now trying to figure out how to filter out these PFAs. A Brita filter does not do that. Reverse osmosis systems will sometimes. But I've been paying close attention to my house, and the tap water smells like bleach. There's so much chlorine. I don't like my tap. So I have reverse osmosis to make it a little bit better so I can drink it. And then I put it through a Brita filter.
A Brita.
Yes, Brita filter. Say that
Brita filter.
Say that 5 times in a row. Just to try and make it better. But that's something I want you all to be aware of, because yes, we want you to hydrate because it keeps your skin all nice and glowy. But take the time to read about the water. Where's it coming from? Those poor people in Michigan are still fighting lead in their water.
Oh, really? Till
Yes.
this day?
Yeah, and even here in California, healthy California, we also have water issues. So this is something I remember years ago. There was a comedian. Her name is S'more, and S'more was talking about how, we were talking about the kids and the vanity and all that, and she was saying that, people are so busy running around trying to have big chests and big butts, and men are trying to make sure their members work, that we're all going to have dementia, and we're going to have all this equipment and not know what to do with it.
Oh.
And I thought, and I'm like, she's right, because we have
that.
to focus on the healthy aspects.
Dementia or some kind of chronic disease.
Yeah. So water, yes, I want you to hydrate. I really do. I just want you to be aware of these these PFAs. And they're actually getting ready to start doing some work on it, because there are people who are getting sick in communities and they couldn't figure out what it is. And now they're thinking it could be the PFAs in the water. So make sure you read the label. Make sure you understand where the water's coming from. And there's also this thing about how plastic bottles, that the plastic seeps into the water. So I'm starting to buy canned water and box water.
Well, there's also news that there have been plastics in a lot of things and causing heart attacks.
Yes.
So there's a lot of plastics that we shouldn't be using, and there's also, we should not be microwaving with plastics, especially.
Yeah, glass.
So we've actually tried to, at home, since we saw this news, which was a few weeks ago, we've actually shifted from plastics to try and use other things like one of them, for example, is chopsticks.
Yes.
Plastic chop. Now we've gone to bamboo.
Oh, okay.
We threw away we bought a whole bunch, like 10 sets, and we're throwing away the plastics, and anything that's plastic we can shift to some other materials. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and we suggest you do the same. So that's my little helpful tip. Gloria Webb Williams, Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural.
Thank you. And I'm Rosetta Chow, Simply Health, your certified health coach. And I like to educate. I call myself an educator and speaker, because when I speak, I like to educate.
Yes.
So my health tip today is that want to give you one food. There's many foods that you can eat to help lower cancer risk. That's what I'm going to give you. And one of the foods that you can eat is broccoli. And the reason being is broccoli has something called, it's called sulforaphane.
Okay.
Sulforaphane is found in a lot of cruciferous vegetables. Now, have you heard that term, cruciferous?
Yes.
Cruciferous is those dark green, leafy green vegetables that are very, very high in antioxidants.
And your doctors want you to eat them every day.
Every day, which is why we say 7 to 13 servings of fruits and veggies, right? So broccoli contains this sulforaphane, and it is a potent has potent anti-cancer properties. Okay? Now, there's a couple of studies I want to talk about in regards to broccoli. One test study showed that sulforaphane reduced the size and number of breast cancer cells up to 75%.
Nice.
The second one is one animal study found that treating mice with sulforaphane helped kill off prostate cancer cells and reduce tumor volume by more than 50%.
Nice.
Okay, so that's sulforaphane that you get in cruciferous, but especially broccoli. Broccoli is very dense in helpful nutrition.
Nice.
And it says one analysis of 35 studies showed eating more cruciferous vegetables. I just talked about that.
Right.
The dark leafy green vegetables, broccoli, kale, spinach, bok choy, collard greens, all the dark leafy greens, was associated with lowering risk of colorectal and colon cancer.
Nice.
Okay, along the same lines of broccoli, let's talk about broccoli sprout. Who's heard of broccoli sprout? So broccoli sprout is baby broccoli. That's basically
Is that
what
like
it is.
broccolinis? 'Cause
No,
when I go-
broccolini is different. Broccoli
Okay.
sprout is like alfalfa sprout,
Oh, okay.
but broccoli sprout.
Okay.
Did you know that 1 pound of broccoli sprouts is equal to 100 pounds of broccoli?
Really?
Yes.
So where does one find those?
So you can find broccoli sprouts in the health food stores. Even like, I don't know if Safeway sells them, but I know Whole Foods sells them,
Okay.
and probably Sprouts sell them. You can find them, and you can actually grow your own broccoli sprouts. It's not
Okay.
that hard. It's like growing alfalfa sprouts. You get the
Because the
seeds.
ratio is
Yeah.
amazing.
Because you get the seeds and you can plant them, and sooner or later they become sprouts and you can grow them at home. So,
Now, that's
everyone,
yeah.
if you want to reduce the risk of cancer, and also if you are in a cancerous state, eating broccoli sprouts is going to reduce your risk of the return of cancer.
Nice.
So broccoli, cruciferous vegetables, but broccoli sprout if you can. So
Yes.
remember broccoli sprout or broccoli.
sprouts.
I love broccoli. I haven't
Yes.
eaten broccoli sprouts, but I like alfalfa sprouts.
Right.
But if you go to Whole Foods, anyone, just go in there. You don't have to shop in there. Just go in there to the produce section. They have a whole section of all these different sprouts in these small clamshell containers. And
Okay.
broccoli sprout is one of them. They have microgreens, broccoli sprouts, pea sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, rainbow sprout, all these different kinds of sprouts.
Nice. Nice.
So there you have it. One of the foods that you can eat to reduce your risk of cancer. I'm Rosetta Chow, and your health matters. Thank you.
Awesome. I hope that we shared some information health-wise that will, gear you up and get you excited, because I know there's a lot going on now with people not feeling well and, just having some medical issues. And yes, the doctors are big on medication. However, I would much prefer to find a nutritionally affordable, non-toxic approach.
Holistic alternative approach.
Yes.
And just one thing, broccoli you can eat both cooked or uncooked. It's both
Yes.
very healthy for you.
Yes, I love broccoli. I haven't had any for a while. I've been trying to do the spinach to get the green leafy and, put a little spinach in my eggs.
I can eat broccoli plain. I just love it.
Yes. So we hope you love it too. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. I hope you learned something. I hope we entertained you a little bit. I hope we gave you a couple of aha moments too, because as I said at the beginning, we had some things we wanted to talk to you about. So we're grateful that you hung out with us. We want you to know that we feel the love that you send to us, and we send it back to you, bubbling over. And thank you so much thank you for your participation.
Yeah, we thank you very much. Thank you. We keep saying thank you, but we thank you again. Thank you.
We're serious about that. Thank you.
Yes, we really are. We really appreciate any of you supporters that, watch our chats week in, week out, because we do this because we just love doing this.
Absolutely.
Yes. And you know what we're going to say now? Did you like our chat? If you did, we'd love for you to hit that thumb icon. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hit the bell notification. There you go.
Yes.
And we are Silicon Valley Girls, chat over tea. And remember to always keep smiling. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.